Hi everyone, welcome to Pawpaw's Workshop. Today is part 3 of my kitchen cabinet upgrade. And in this video, we're going to take the drawers that we built and we're going to add the drawer slides to each side of it. We're also going to build the fronts that will go onto the drawers and install the new drawers into the base cabinets. So we've got a lot to get done, so let's get started. Okay, the first thing we've got to do is establish the size of the drawer fronts. Now then, from the previous video, we know that the drawer opening, the opening itself was 33 inches, and we know the height of that was 10 inches. So now then, how much bigger does the drawer front need to be to cover this opening? Well, typically what will happen is you will have 3/8 of an inch on each side. So that means our drawer needs to be 10 3/4 by, same thing, we're going to add 3/8 of an inch to the top and to the bottom. So it's going to be 33 3/4. So that's the size of our drawer fronts. I set up the stop block so that I can safely cut this premium pine board to the 33 3/4. The next thing is I set the table saw to the 10 3/4 so that I can rip the premium pine board down to the correct size. Now I didn't catch it on camera, but after this was cut, I did take this over to the router table and put a little cove edging around it so that it matched the rest of the cabinets. Then it was just a matter of sanding everything and make sure it looked good. You can also see the little cove detail in this video. Okay, to paint these, I'm using the Valspar Ultra, and it's a semi-gloss paint for the interior. And yes, it is a dark color. We're making the cabinets a dark brown color. And what I like to do is be able to paint the back side first. And I don't need to paint all of it, but I do need to paint it on the edges. And then I'll use my little golf tees and pegboard stands to be able to hold it up while the paint dries. And this way I can actually paint both sides at once. So I'm going ahead and painting the back, and I'm also going to paint the edge. Once that's done, I'll set it up on the stand and go ahead and paint the front face of the drawer front. I'm going to go ahead and paint this, and I'll show it to you when it's all finished. Okay, the first coat is completely on it now, on both sides, and they are going to dry. And then I'll just go ahead and sand them lightly and get a second coat on them. To put the first coat of sealer on it, I'm using the shellac that is clear. And this will seal the wood. It dries fast, and it makes it where I can sand it. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the polyurethane water-based on it next. But this is what I'm going to work on today. And this is on just a cake decorating table. And it makes it where I can turn it around very easily and be able to work on it on all the sides. Nice thing about this, you can actually put it on pretty much in any direction, whatever you need to do to get it covered. And then once you have the good coverage, just the last thing that you want to do is grab it and pull nice long straight brush marks, smooth everything out. We're all done. Next thing I'm going to do with the bottoms, in a matter of just a minute, the bottom is all done. Very nice and smooth. You can see the reflection in the light. Now there's no puddling, no runs, and it looks good. It's now time to mount this drawer slides to the drawer itself. And this little lever releases the inner part of the drawer slide. And this is the part that attaches to the drawer itself. I have the center line marked exactly where the drawer slide needs to be. It also needs to be all the way to the front on the face side of the drawer. Once the drawer slides in place, I take the awl and punch a pilot hole so that I can put the screws in place and the drawer slide will not move around at all. And these drawer rollers are designed to be able to have 3 screws hold them into place. So I put one in the front edge, I'll also put one at the back, and then I'll finish up with the one in the middle. To be able to put the drawer faces on, I need to be able to secure it with 6 screws. I'm using 6 screws because of the size of the drawers. So I mark the center, and then I come 4 inches over from each side and place the mark. Then I'll take the square and transfer that mark from the top and the bottom of the drawer. That way it'll keep the screws in line and you'll be able to see the screw heads inside the drawer, so you want those aligned vertically. The next thing that I'm going to do is take the tape measure and I'm going to measure down 2.5 inches from the top and 2.5 inches from the bottom to be able to get the vertical location of the screws. Now these measurements are not exact. They can vary depending on your particular situation, but I just want a uniform look when you look inside of the drawer and see those screw heads. Now I'm just going to take the awl and punch a little pilot hole on each of those center points and then drill the holes. The last component that I need to be able to install these drawers is 2 rails that are cut 1.5 inches by the 33 inches long. And this will go into the base of the cabinet to separate the 2 drawers. The 1.5 inch measurement for these rails is based on the measurements that are already on the rest of the base cabinets. This will match and make it look uniform, and it'll look like it was intended to be there and not an add-on feature. To be able to secure these rails to the cabinet, I'm using the Kreg system. I'm going to go ahead and put the pocket holes in now and then be able to easily secure it to the cabinet on the job site. The Kreg pocket hole system is an excellent way to be able to secure it to the cabinets. To begin the installation of this new drawers, the first thing I have to do is remove the old doors. And to do that, I'm just taking the drill, removing the screws from the hinges, and then discarding the doors itself. With the doors removed, I can move over to the stile now. This vertical stile needs to be removed. And to do so, I'm taking a straight edge and a utility knife to score the exact cut line that I need to have. I do not want the tear out to occur to damage the finished surface of the face frame. So here I'm taking the jigsaw now and cutting right along that scored line, and it makes a very smooth, crisp, sharp line. Okay, so we're going to have to grind that off. I'm taking the angle grinder and removing those little pieces of metal sticking up. That is a corrugated fastener that was actually used in the assembly of the original cabinet to hold the vertical stiles in place. I had to cut the corrugated fasteners off with the angle grinder to be smooth and flush with the bottom of the base cabinet. I wanted to take just a moment and show you what a corrugated fastener actually is, because they're really not that common anymore. So I'm going to get up close and let you see this is the actual corrugated fastener. It has very sharp teeth on it, and it also is tapered so that when you nailed it into the wood, it would actually draw the 2 pieces of wood together. This was a very, very effective method to be able to secure the rails and stiles together into cabinet making. They actually had nail guns that they used at the time to be able to use these. But today, These have pretty much been replaced with the pocket hole jig systems to be able to secure the rails and stiles in place. Now it's time to take my assembly and slide it into place and make sure that the fit is correct, and then I'll take the nail gun and shoot it into position. Now I'm not using glue for this part because the brad staples are more than enough to be able to secure this assembly to the cabinet. And you never know, there may be a time when this needs to be removed for some reason. With both assemblies now in place and secure, it's time to be able to slide the drawers into place. And this is a perfect fit. The drawers slide and operate exactly as they should, nice and smooth. It's time to install the rail, and this is the rail that I made in the shop. That's 1.5 inches by the 33 inches. So I'm going to slide it in place, and I cut two 10-inch spacer blocks to be able to hold it in place. Now I'm also going to add a clamp to each side to be able to secure this rail in position when I put in the first screw. I'm going to put a screw in the bottom on both sides, and then I can remove the clamp and I'll be able to put in the top screw. The clamp ensures that this rail remains flush with the other part of the face frame. The screw on the bottom holds it in place. That way I can remove the clamp and have access to the top hole. And the new rails are now installed in both of the openings in the cabinet. Now it's time to add the door fronts to these drawers, and what I did is I have the screw on the center sticking slightly through so that I can make an impression on to the drawer fronts. I also have a board resting and clamped at the bottom 3/8 of an inch down to be able to hold it. I also have a marked 3/8 of an inch on the side. This way I'll be able to have the drawer front exactly positioned where I want, be able to push it into that screw and leave a slight indentation. That marks the exact location that I need to have it. I'll expand that by making that hole a little bit bigger, and then I can actually screw that into position exactly where it needs to be. With the first screw holding the door front securely in place, I can then go ahead and screw in the remaining screws. There are a number of ways to be able to attach the drawer fronts to the drawers. This is just the method that I chose to do on this particular install. Now I'm using the pre-drilled holes that I had made in the shop for these 6 screws to be able to attach into the drawer fronts. To attach the knobs to the drawer fronts, I'm using a template that I had made. Using the template is much faster and more effective and more accurate. To use this template, I just slip it on top of the door front, and it's aligned on the left or the right edge, and then I drill into the appropriate hole. And that gives me a perfect alignment for the knobs. Next, I just slip the screw through the hole that I just created and attach the knob just by screwing it on, and secure it with the screwdriver, tightening it so it'll hold it in place. The installation of these 4 drawers is now complete. This adds a tremendous amount of extra storage and convenience to be able to access any of the products that you're going to have in these drawers. All that's left now is to be able to go through and paint the rest of the cabinets and upgrade the knobs to match the drawers that we just put in. This was a great project and a lot of fun to do. Hi everyone, thank you for watching my video today. If you like the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and the little bell next to it so you'll be notified on the different videos that I upload. Also check out the videos over here to be able to stay up to date on the happenings in my shop. So again, thank you for watching my videos.